Hey everybody, I'm back again. It's a new year and I'm back with a brand new release from Atlas, or a re-release that's been updated, of an Alco C420. Let's go to the workbench and take a look. Alright, so what we're looking at here is an HO scale Atlas Alco C420. So these are available in a whole bunch of different types and road names. I stopped counting after about 10 different road names. You can look on the Atlas website to get all the information, but I will tell you this. They come either as DC for about $159.95, or you can get them with ESU, LokSound, DCC, and sound, and those range between $259.95 and $279.95. This happens to be the low hood variant decorated for Ohio Central, and this has DCC and sound and retails for $279.95. So let's take a closer look. There's a lot of really nice detail on this thing. So I've scrutinized the paint with my magnifying visor, and it's perfect. The dark plum color goes really well with the yellow, and all these separation lines along the pinstriping, I guess that's what you'd call that, are crystal clear, and the paint is applied thinly enough that it's not obscuring any details, and the details in the plastic are very nicely done. You can see all the little latch detail in there. Looks overall, just when you first impression, looks really nice, really sharp. Something else I've been reading on the Atlas website about this model is they've gone through a lot of trouble to make sure that prototype specific details are included in each of their different versions of this model, which is pretty cool. I mean, I think the days of Fubies and just, knockoff type locomotives with paint schemes that never existed, that kind of thing, I think those days are pretty much over. If not, we're in the end of those days. And having prototype specific detail is pretty cool, because that means when you get it home and get it out of the box, you can put it on the layout and just go. So I realize there are a lot of people who enjoy detailing stuff, and I'm sure there is something you can find to do. One thing that's kind of cool here is this particular locomotive came with a parts bag with some additional parts, including the sunshades that should be here. Those are to be added by the modeler. So there's still some stuff to do if you want to, but otherwise, take it out of the box, put it on the layout, and go. Something else worth mentioning, which I've shown in the past, don't think I'll show it this time just because it's kind of redundant, but that is that the LokSound decoder that this locomotive comes with can be used on a DC layout or DCC as well. It's made for DCC, obviously, but if you put it on a DC layout, you get the engine sounds from the locomotive. So it's kind of a dual mode. And the other thing that's worth mentioning here is that the DCC ready version of this model comes with an 8-pin NMRA plug. So it's a plug and play if you have a decoder that uses that type of connection. Something else worth noting is how straight and nicely done the railing is on the side. I know on a lot of models like this, the railing tends to be crooked because the stanchions, which are these vertical pieces, are crooked. And it seems like a lot of model manufacturers are getting this right nowadays, or at least it's better than it used to be. And if you look in there, you can see that there's an engineer and a fireman or conductor in the locomotive that are painted. So it does have a detailed interior as well. I'll see if there's a way to show that a little bit later. And in this case, you also have a 5-chime horn located here over the engineer. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of finely rendered detail. And something else that's kind of cool is some of the grills here, like this is an etched piece. And on the top, which we'll look at later, also it looks like etched pieces. So let's look at the front detail. So as I was saying before, we're looking at a lot of finely scaled details like these grabs here, which really stand out with the yellow paint against the dark surface. You know, the black on the hood here, and then the dark plum color here on the side. That looks really sharp. And then look at these curved grabs on the corner here. That's something I haven't really seen before on a lot of models, curved grabs. And it's kind of hard to tell. I'm not sure if you can see it from here, but the steps are actually perforated, so they're see-through on the step well here. And if you look more closely, you can see there are MU hoses, air hose, cut lever, everything that you would want on the models there. There's a drop step that was modeled. So lots of nice, finely rendered details, stuff that hasn't always been even on HO scale models unless you added it yourself. Something else, look at the windshield wipers. These are separately applied pieces as well. And they really stand out. You might be able to see the cut lever and hoses down here, right? And these are plastic, so should stand up to handling. This one looks a little delicate. Of course, again, I didn't mention this when we were looking at the other side, but you have a knuckle coupler here. Should probably have mentioned that this is in Atlas's master line, and this is, you know, this is the detail you get with the master line. And it seems like as time goes on, companies like Atlas keep adding more detail, and in some cases they even retool the models, which is a very expensive process, but the results are probably worth it. And so here's a look at the fireman's side. Again, paint is perfect. These little warning labels are legible if you put on your magnifying visor. Just overall, it looks very clean and sharp. And I mentioned before, you can see it now, that there's a little crew figure inside there. Something else that's pretty cool is that the holes for the sunshades are drilled out at the factory, so you don't have to worry about doing that. All you have to worry about is sticking the sunshades on the model. The detail on the back is very similar to the detail on the front. You have your curved grabs, which, I don't know, I'm still impressed by those. I don't remember having ever seen those on a model before. You have your painted stripes on the steps. These are the see-through steps, just like on the front. All the different hoses and cut lever and everything there. Got your knuckle coupler here. And there's something about the hand railing on this model and the grabs. Maybe it's the way it's painted, I don't know. But they look smaller, you know, more to scale than I've seen on some models in the past. I think it's pretty impressive. Maybe I'm just easy to impress, but I am really liking this etched walkway that goes across back here. That's something else I haven't seen on a model before, and it may just be because I haven't done a spotlight on a C420, but that's a cool little detail. But then again, the rest of the roof doesn't have a whole lot of detail. That's how the C420s are. You could just paint the inside of the exhaust here black. That would look pretty cool. There's a little bit closer look at the truck detail. I wanted to show it because it's kind of dark under the locomotive and the light doesn't get under there very easily. But you can see all the little springs and brake line and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And now for my favorite part, which is always running the model. When I told my JMRI to identify the decoder, it's actually a LokSound 5. So this is the newest, latest and greatest decoder you can get from ESU as well. This model has a 5-pole skewed armature motor with dual flywheels, and as you can see, the low speed control is very good. The lights are directional and come on with F0. The number boards and headlight come on together, and that's a warm white LED in there. And here it is on the back. Number boards and rear headlight. Looks good. There's something about that black OC against the yellow on the nose there that just looks official. I don't know what that means, but I don't know. I like it. So I have to say, I'm pretty excited about this model. It's not only a newly released model with updated details and stuff like that, but they're also using the brand new, newest possible ESU decoder in there, the LokSound version 5. So good job, Atlas. I'm looking forward to more releases like that this year, and I'll see you next time.